Today we're checking out the 3-point retractable seat belts in black for the 1982 to 95 Jeep CJ7 and Wrangler YJ. If your original seat belts are worn out, slow to retract, or you just want a cleaner and safer setup in an older Jeep, this is one of those upgrades that makes a lot of sense for both function and peace of mind, so they're definitely worth considering. This set of 4 seatbelts is designed to restore the reliable passenger restraint with a fully adjustable and retractable 3-point design, which is a huge improvement for an older Jeep that may still be relying on some tired or damaged factory belts. The 3-point layout gives you a more secure and more modern style restraint feel, and that matters a lot in a CJ7 or a YJ, where safety and basic usability are already a part of the appeal of keeping the rig road ready. Another big feature of this kit is the fact that it comes as a set of 4 seat belts, so you can refresh the entire interior restraint system instead of replacing one belt at a time and hoping everything matches up. It also is a direct replacement style setup, which keeps things simple for somebody who wants dependable safety and a cleaner interior without turning into a custom fabrication project. If the seatbelts in your Jeep are frayed, faded, or just not retracting as smooth as they used to, this is the kind of practical upgrade that helps bring the interior back up to a much better standard. When it comes to the construction on these, you're getting retractable 3-point seat belts crafted from ABS polyester material and a matte black finish. That gives you a durable belt material with a clean look that fits the interior nicely while still focusing on the secure and dependable function that you want in a seatbelt system. Now, as far as the pricing goes on these, they're coming in right around the $100 price range. For a full set of all 4 retractable seat belts that can freshen up the safety system and the usability of an older Jeep interior, that's a really strong value in my opinion. When it comes to this install process, it's going to get rated a simple 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you should be able to get this job done in about 1 hour of your time. Now let's see exactly how this install process goes with a quick video from one of our ExtremeTerrain customers.
You don't need much for this project. You just need a socket wrench with a 9/16 socket, a T50, a set of needle nose pliers, a extension, and a flathead screwdriver.
Hey guys, today we're working on my 93 YJ. We're gonna put in some back seat belts from ExtremeTerrain, so let's get to it.
So this is what my original seat belts look like. They're pretty rusted. They're 33 years old, just like the car. And as you can see, there is a hex bolt that we're gonna need to get out, and you're gonna need to save that because you're gonna use that on the new seat belts.
All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna remove this bolt. And I don't think it's been touched in 30 years, so this should be interesting. Ta-da! All right, so now we're gonna take our seat belts and we're gonna lay them on top of each other. You can see that you know what the bottom is because there's this square right here, so that goes on the bottom. This goes over it, place it over the hole, place the bolt in, and you screw it in. You're gonna wanna tighten this down to the specs of whatever year model you have of your Jeep. Make sure to hold that in place. All right, so there are 3 bolts that you're gonna have to remove to get the back seat belt off. You have this one right here, and that's what we're gonna use this screwdriver for, because we're gonna have to pop this cap off. All right, so I'm gonna put this in here, and then there you go. Falls right off, and then you have the bolt right there. All right, so the 2 other bolts, one is in here, and this is why you're gonna need this extender, and then the other is underneath this little cover. And these are the 3 bolts that we're gonna have to take off. So I'm gonna start with the top one and work my way down. Right, that one's off. All right, so got it in there. Still going. There we go. All right. And just so you know, there is a clip that went into there that I had to pop out as well. Just came off all in one. All right, and then the last bolt. Ooh, that one was in there the best of all of them. There we go. Now the seatbelt's off. All right, so I took the bolt out of here because you only get one bolt. You have to reuse most of the bolts that you're pulling off of the other seatbelt. So I took the bolt out of here. You're gonna make sure that this flat part goes up against the rail. I'm gonna put that in there. Put this over here so I can work. And then I'm gonna use my ratchet again and just I'm gonna go back and tighten it tight after I get the rest of the bolts in. All right, so then I'm gonna do the top, and I didn't realize that this is actually a socket, so I have to go get a socket wrench. So I'm gonna start this by hand, just to get it up. I'm gonna go back and tighten it. Okay guys, so remember how I said you have to reuse your bolts? Well, the bolt that comes out of here is too long. So this is the bolt that came out of here. It's way too long for the new seatbelt that you're putting in. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the bolt that came out the top that you're not reusing right now on the top because you got a new bolt from the new manufacturer. You're gonna take that bolt and you're gonna use that bolt for your bottom housing down here. Now what you are gonna use from this bolt is on the back of this was a stopper. You're gonna need that stopper to install this bottom piece of the seatbelt. So let's do that. All right, so you wanna make sure that you have the tag facing the back. You're gonna line up your hole, and I'm gonna start hand feeding this in like that. And then I'm gonna get my wrench, and I'm gonna hold the seatbelt in place because we don't want it to move. And I'm gonna tighten it real good. All right, so now we're gonna use our 9/16 socket, and we're gonna tighten the top down. Go, nice and tight. And then we're gonna put cover on. Click it in place, and there you go. You got your seatbelt installed. So now we're gonna repeat what we did on the other side. So I am going to stick my flathead screwdriver in here. This one didn't pop that off. Ta-da! Reveals the bolt. I'm gonna use my T50. And I'm gonna take this bolt off. There we go. That one was a whole lot tighter than the other one. All right, so you don't need this worn out washer. We can throw that away. And you're not gonna need this either, but you are gonna need this, so don't lose this. All right, so we're gonna put this right in here. I'm gonna crack that open. Now, don't lose this screw either, because you're gonna reuse this one. There we go. So now we have that off. All right, so now we're gonna take this screw out, because again, we wanna save it. So we're gonna reuse it. All right, our last bolt. And remember, we need to use the stopper that is on the back of this for the new seatbelt. You're not going to use this screw on the bottom, but you are going to use the stopper. There you go. And this is a stopper you're going to want to take off, and it's not going to come off easy, so I'm going to take a pair of
needle nose pliers. I'm gonna take the wrench again, and I'm gonna get the stopper off this way. There you go, save that. All right, so I'm gonna take the housing first, this part, and I'm gonna put this up against the pole. So you want this part up against the pole. You're gonna take the bolt that was on the middle piece before, put that in the largest hole, and then stick that right there. Now I'm gonna start it by hand tightening it, because unlike your original, there's no clip on the back, so you have to hold it up. And my wrench. Go. Alright, so now we're going to put the top in. Remember, this one comes with a bolt, so I'm going to just start it with my hand. Then I'm going to get my socket, my 9/16. Tight. All right, then I'm going to take my bolt and I'm going to put my stopper on it, like so. And I'm going to come down here, make sure that tag again is to the back, and I hand start it. Place. Get nice and tight. I'm gonna go through and make sure all your bolts are tight. I went through and made sure all my bolts won't move. And then the last piece to the puzzle is you wanna put your cap on. There you go. Ta-da! All right, so fully installed. Here's what it looks like. Seatbelt, buckle, boom. We're good to go.
All right, that wraps up our review and install of the 3-point retractable seat belts in black for the 1982 to 95 Jeep CJ7 and the Wrangler YJ. And for all things Jeep, keep it right here at Extreme Terrain.